Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming to Lagos Leather Fair 2025. Welcome you to day 2 of LLF 2025. My name is Ronke Giwa Onofuwa, and of course, I'm your host once again this year, and I'm so excited that you're here at LLF. Just to give you a rundown of what's to come. I know it's raining out there. My goodness, I guess that's why we're still expecting more people to come in, but we're hoping to start in a few minutes because we don't want to take you for granted. Thank you so much, in spite of the rain, for being here. So we're starting with a workshop today. And just so you know, all the workshops and conversations will be happening here. However, all the shopping, mingling, eating, drinking will be happening out there. So thank you for being here and in time too. So we're starting our workshop in a few minutes. And the workshop is titled Mastering the Art of Winning Grants, a Creative's Guide. And I think that's going to be given by the Grant Master himself. For those who are looking for, in quotes, free money for your business. All right, you're in the right space. And Olugbenga Ogunbowale is the best person to have this workshop with you, by the way. All right, so that's starting in a few minutes. But at 1:30, you want to save your seats too, all right? You want to stay here. All right, we're going to take a few breaks just so you can grab something to eat and drink, but always make your way back here so nobody grabs your seat. At 1:30, we're going to be doing our first conversation of the day. That is titled The Art of Pricing, Cost versus Craft. The Art of Pricing, Cost versus Craft. And I'll give you all of the speakers, break down all of the speakers on that session. We also have at around 3:30, a fireside chat. That's in conversation with Marco Dite, making it on my own terms, navigating identity, integrity, and global dreams. I know all of us want global domination, and it is going to happen. I can't wait for you, for your brand, to be purchased in Gambia, in the UK, in France, in Italy, so you want to stay tuned for that chat. It's going to be an amazing one. Then, of course, we're wrapping up today with the LLF Awards. Yesterday, we had a brilliant time watching the runway show. I don't know how many people were here. How many people watched the runway show? Okay, fantastic. It was amazing. All right, so today we're going to be doing the LLF Awards, where some brands will be winning, awards. And so I think it's important that you should be there as well. There's something called the Maker's Bench that's happening in there. Well, it's only for people that have pre-registered. So a Maker's Bench is where some people are actually designing their own leather products from scratch. All right, so next year, make sure you register ahead if you want to be part of the Maker's Bench. But that's an initiative we added to this year's LLF just to spice things up a bit. All right, so talking about some of the speakers and some of the guests that are going to be gracing this couch today, we have got Duni Olayebi. Duni Olayebi will be speaking. Duni works as a technology sales manager at Accenture. So you definitely want to listen to that. Let me see. We also have Adegboyega Adebaju, a seasoned economist and structured finance advisor. So for those who are looking for finance, you want to stay tuned. We also have Koinsade Ademuson, who is a Lagos-based architect with over a decade of experience in modular housing. Let me see. We also have Ifeyiwa Azubike. She's a creative director of Lady Maker, which is a fashion brand celebrating femininity, heritage, and modern African elegance. Let me see. And then, of course, we still have, we have moderating. Rhoda is a culture curator. Rhoda Agunobio is a fashion consultant. Rhoda Agunigo is a fashion consultant and project manager. She founded Lord Africa, a Pan-African institution that creates opportunities for emerging creative entrepreneurs and startups across the continent. So it's going to be amazing. Like I said, our first workshop is by Olugbenga Ogunbowale, who is a visionary social entrepreneur and grant funding expert. He's a grant funding expert. So please call your friend who's still in the main hall to be here. If that person is an entrepreneur and they're looking for funding, make sure they come into the hall and grab their seat. So we're starting in a few minutes. So I want to say thank you once again for being here at LLF and also being here in the hall to be part of today's workshop. My name once again is Ronke Giwa Onofuwa. Happy to be here to be your host. Thank you once again. And this practical masterclass is designed to guide creatives and entrepreneurs through the grant application process, help you identify the right funding opportunities, of course, craft compelling proposals, and avoid common pitfalls. Our facilitator, Olugbenga Ogunbowale, is a visionary social entrepreneur and grant funding expert transforming Africa's economic landscape. He's the CEO of Grantmaster. He's helped secure over $30 million in grants for businesses and NGOs. His Google-backed cyber hygiene app protects 45,000 plus teens from cyberbullying, while his NGO, the Orphan Empowerment Society, has impacted 25,000 orphans in Africa. Olugbenga has won multiple grants from funders such as MasterCard and Google. Benga has earned 60 plus awards, including Africa's fundraising champion. He serves as judge for the $1.5 million African Business Heroes competition, and he is a Mandela Washington Fellow and Harvard Business Review Advisor. Except you have all of these accolades. Please, I want you to put your hands together for our guest who's going to be hosting this workshop, Olugbenga Ogunbowale. You are welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to be, you know how we say, I'm going to be sat with your pen and your paper. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. Can we please put our hands together for ourselves, please, everybody? Wait, this your club needs paracetamol. Can you jam your hands together, please? Lagos. I'm really excited to be here. And I want this 90 minutes to really be very impactful for you, for your business. So this is going to be a very, very interactive session. And I believe that you're ready with your pen and your paper. How many of you are ready for this session? How many of you are ready? I want you to wave like this. Wave, 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 wave. Okay, let's do it another style. How many of you are ready to win massive grant funding in 2025? Now, here's what we're going to do. If you are seated here, you've already raised like $1 billion, you're like, this session, Benga, I already know what you want to say. Don't wave, just do like this. Like, But if you're here, you want to win massive grant funding before this year runs out, I want you to wave aggressively. Let me see the people that are here for this session. Aha, I see you. I see you. Fantastic. All right. So let's get started. Now, let's talk about the funding gap facing African creatives. Let's talk about the funding gaps. African SMEs face a $331 billion funding gap. It's a huge funding gap. If you ask small business owners, you ask creatives, what is the number one problem? Funding is the number one problem. Now, Africa captures just 2.9% of the global creative goods export. 2.9%, right? So that is a mere $58 billion out of a $2 trillion market. Africa is about 60% of the population. So this is a very, very tiny slice of the global creative market. Very, very tiny slice. Now, there are billions of dollars in grant funding for creatives. There are billions of dollars. If you're wondering, why has it not gotten to you yet? There are only two possible reasons. Number one, either you don't know that they exist because you cannot seize what you cannot see, or your proposal does not make it past page 1 when they are reviewing. So whichever category you fall into, we are going to fix that today. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it today. All right? Now, here's the shocker. 90% of grant applications don't make it past the first 37 seconds. Are you surprised? 37 seconds. Like the reviewer sees your application and they're like, nah, next, right? So this session is about showing you what the 10% do. The people that consistently win grant funding, this session is about showing you the things that they do so that you can start winning grant funding to promote your creative business, right? So does this sound like music to your ears? Are you ready? All right, so let's move on. Now, let's start with the Grant Revolution Manifesto. There are two categories of people that apply for grants, right? So the first category is people that complain that apply for 1 to 2 applications yearly. So let's do a poll. How many of you have applied for a grant this year for your business? You've applied for at least 1 grant. Let me see your hands up. So how many hands am I seeing? No, please keep your hands up. I want to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Put your hands down. Are you surprised? The people that raise your, are you surprised? 6, right? Now, the rest of you that did not raise your hand up, what are you waiting for exactly? Why have you not been applying? Why? I want somebody to shout out an answer. Shout out, somebody give me a reason why. Anybody here wants to, give me a reason why. Please, do we have another mic? I want this to be very, very interactive, please, if you have another mic. Is there anybody who wants to give me a reason why they've not been applying for grants? Anybody? Yes, sir, please. Thank you very much. Please, just tell us your name and why you've not been applying for grants.
My name is James Awori. I think one of the reasons why I don't apply for grants is fear of rejection.
Fear of rejection, right? Please, how many of us watch all these American movies where people will sit down? Maybe they're trying to cure, they have like a a support group for depression or pornography. They'll sit down around in a circle. Somebody will say one touching story. They'll not say hi. They'll mention the person's name. Thank you for sharing. What is your name, sir? James. Can we say hi, James, everybody? Hi, James. Thank you for sharing. This session is for you. After this session, when you see rejection like this, even rejection will run away from you. Fear of rejection, okay. Where the fear day? Okay. Now, there's another category of people, is generic proposals, right? Maybe they went for one training where they charged them 1,000 naira, or they saw one template, they Google how to, they saw one template, right? And so generic proposals, they just keep doing copy and paste, right? And so they don't win. And then there are a separate group of people, they give up after rejection. They just have them one breakfast, they're like this. They go like, oh, this granting is not for me. I've always known it. I just after one rejection. And then, what is the result? 0 grants. 0. If you fall in this category, don't be surprised, that you're not getting grants. Don't be surprised. There's nothing to be surprised about. But then, you, after today, right? What is going to be your story? You are going to be the person that applies for a minimum of 20 grants in a year. You are going to be writing bespoke narratives. You're going to be telling your story in a compelling way, in an unforgettable, very memorable way. You're going to be building relationships. You're not just going to be applying for grants. Even grant funders will know you, right? Grant funders will know you. They will know your name. They will know of your work. And then after today, what kind of results will you have? $1,000 to $1 million. Now, see, in Nigeria, we live in a low-trust society. When people hear that there's free money, you can win free money, people usually think that somebody is out there to scam me. How many of you have thought like that before? Like, somebody's trying to scam me, right? But I am here today as living proof that it is possible to win grant funding. Let me tell you one funny story. We have a school at Grandmaster called Grand Success School. One of our students, one of our most popular dropouts, his name is David. David attended the training. The training is 4 weeks. But he dropped out after week 3. Why? He won 500,000 naira. He did not graduate from the school. He's like, So this is for real, right? Like, he was just so excited. He never graduated. It's like, oh my God, I can win free money. The difference between a grant and a loan is that if you take a loan, you're going to repay. But if you win a grant, you are not repaying. You just have to do the project. So for people here who are thinking, oh, it's a lie, it's a scam, they're out to get me. No, it's absolutely possible, right? We have stories of people that have won, let me give another big jump, $5,000, right? How many of you applied for Tony Elumelu grant earlier this year? Okay, put your hands down. Is there anybody who won the Tony Elumelu grant here? One person, okay, right? That one person, you're a Grand Success School student, is that correct? Guys, I did not plan this. So just in case you're thinking, oh, Benga called the students, and he's like, oh, people should show up to Lagos at that fair. So that, I came in this morning, and then I saw him, and he was like, oh, wow, you are here. I did not plan this, right? Out of all the people that raised up down there, they applied. Who won? So guys, can you please take this session more seriously a little bit? Somebody needs to adjust your chair. Please adjust the way you are sitting down. Just check yourself, because this session, if you take it seriously, by the end of this year, you are going to win grant funding for your business. It's as simple as that, right? As simple as that. Okay? So I want you to pay attention to the next 88 minutes. See, you are in Lagos. If you can survive Lagos traffic, you can win grant funding. Am I saying the truth? Lagos. What is tougher than Lagos traffic? Turn to your neighbor, say, I will win grant funding. No, you're not saying like you mean it. Look for somebody else. Say, I will win grant funding. If I can survive Lagos traffic. So, who the hell am I to teach you, right? Who the hell am I? Why should you pay attention to this session? Our clients and students are collectively won over $30 million. My WhatsApp, the way it usually starts is, I open my WhatsApp, and at least in 1 week, somebody will be thanking me. In fact, there's a student of ours who right now is in the United States. He won the Mandela Washington Fellowship, right? And when he won, it was just like, he just started praying for me on my WhatsApp. Thank you very much. God bless you. Your generation will not suffer. Why? Because that was not his first time of applying. There are people that have applied for that same thing 4 times in a row that didn't get in, right? But just because they had access to the right information, right? Information can cause transformation. Just because they had access to the right information and they took action, right? Because there are 2 categories of people. There are Nigerians that attend every single program, right? They're at every conference. They take notes, but after the conference, what happens? They forget. I'm challenging you today. All the things you learned from this fair, please put them into action. put them into action. How many of you are promising me that you're going to take action on these things? You're not just going to be excited or inspired. You're going to take action. Fantastic. All right, let's move on. So $30 million secured. I've trained over 7,000 entrepreneurs for the likes of companies like Google and Meta. And, over 60 awards won so far. See, a lot of you here, you've been rejected more times, you've been rejected more times than I've been rejected more times than you've applied, right? And each no took me closer to a yes. So for people who are afraid of rejection, you're like, what if they reject and all of that? Rejection never killed anybody. Hello? Rejection never killed anybody. So first of all, if your fear is they are going to reject me, it never killed anybody. So first of all, another thing you should know is that all the people that come out to say they won a grant, they will never tell you the number of times they applied before that time. Are we together? So people usually don't tell you the number of times that they failed before. They usually just come out to tell you that I won. So please, calm down. That fear of rejection, delete it from your mind. Delete. Now, we're getting to the business of today. We're getting to the business. I want to share with you the 7 deadly sins of grant failure. The 7 deadly sins. 7 deadly sins. Right? Are we together? Are we together? All right. So, sin number 1 is the humility trap. Some of you are too humble for your own good. You're too humble for your own good. Right? How many of you here believe that my work should speak for itself? Anybody like that? Don't worry, I won't call you out. Okay, I like your honesty. Right? Anybody else? You believe this? Second person, third person, okay, fourth person. I can see. I like the way you're already laughing like this. See, wake up. Please. There's a song. Don't sleep. Wake up. Collect your money. Your work will not speak for itself, my dear. It's not enough for you to be expecting your work for you to speak for itself, right? You have to do that work. You must speak. There is a way that you communicate about the work that you do that makes people pay attention. So you cannot leave your public image, right, to random choice. You cannot leave the public image of the work that you're doing or the perception of your company to random choice. No, you have to deliberately shape it, right? You have to. How many of us know Tunde Onakoya, Chess in Slums? How many of us know, or you've at least heard about him, right? Here's the question I have for you. Is he the only one who is doing a chess school or chess academy? Is he the only one? Right? But is he the best storyteller among the people doing that thing? Right? He knows how to tell a story. You have to tell your own story. Nobody is going to tell your story for you. You need to start telling your own story. Next thing is the perfection paralysis. Right? How many of you believe I will apply when I'm ready? I'm not ready yet. I'm still cooking. Right? Some of you are in the kitchen. You are chef. Chef Chi. You are still cooking. I want to see your hands up. Raise up your hand. You know yourselves. 1, 2, 3. You people are plenty. It's a WhatsApp group. Wake up. You are sleeping on the bicycle. Wake up. Do you know the problem with this? Saying that you are not ready. You will never be ready. It's not a course. The reason why you never be ready is that, do you know that there are grants for every single stage of business? That's why when I was giving examples earlier, I said we have people that have won 500,000 naira, right, to as much as $1 million. Whenever you hear that a company, organization, or NGO has won a huge amount, it means they have the structure, the capacity to win that grant. Grant funders will never give you the money they don't think you can handle. Are we together? So it means that if you are at a stage where so let me give you a rough formula. This is how it works. Let's say your income for last year was 20 million naira. It means that realistically you can win 10 to 20 million naira from a grant funder. Why? Because you've already done that number in a year. Are we together? So it means that whenever you hear that somebody has won $200,000, $400,000, it means that the numbers they are doing in a year is already at that stage or close to that stage. Does this make sense now? So it means that instead of you waiting till you are very big, what should you start doing? Start applying for grants at your level. Right? The first major grant that I won was Tony Enibidi grant, $5,000. Right? $5,000. That was in 2017, $5,000. Right? And so now we're talking bigger grants, right? 15,000, 20,000, 100,000, 250,000 because of growth. So please don't wait. Don't wait. Start where you are. Apply for grants at your level. Use the grant funding to grow, and then you now apply for grants for bigger grants. Please, do we understand? Does this make sense? Next, the jargon allergy. Right? How many of you believe this? I'm an artist. I'm not this businessman. Anybody here like that here? Raise up your hand. Anybody? Oh, nobody. One person at the back. Are you raising up your hand? No? Okay. Right? Thank God there's nobody like that here. If you believe that you're an artist, you're not a businessman, see, learn the language. Learn the language. See, you're not an artist who happens to be a businessman. You're a business person who is an artist. So next thing, the solo hero complex. I don't need help. Is there anybody like that here who believes this? I don't need help. See, this is a deliverance section we are conducting. Right? The only difference is that I don't have ushers that are standing beside you people waiting to deliver the people that are about to fall down. Right? This is the deliverance you'll be looking for. Even Dangote has advisors. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that some of the people that spend the most on consultants are the biggest and most successful companies? Right? I was listening to a talk by Ike of Access Bank, right? The chairman. And he was talking about how, several years ago they paid, millions, in consulting fees. And it's something they still do. Just because, they wanted, ideas from the best people. The most successful people pay more for consulting. Meanwhile, some of us, right? In fact, do you know that whenever we run ads on social media to promote our school, right? One of our products, whenever we run ads to promote, some of the people that attack us and accuse us of being scams, whenever I check their profile, guess what I see? Works at self-employed. And on their posts, guess what is there? It's either they are sharing one post about, there's somebody that is very popular in this country called complete the sentence, I won't mention his name. Very, right? Or they are sharing some gossip. And so by the time I check the profile, I say, okay, this person is accusing me of being a scammer, right? Okay, let me check this person's profile. I cannot see the head or the tail. I don't understand what they are about. Right? So please, don't say you don't need help. At the very minimum, seek out the people that are won the kind of grant you want to win. Some of you already have them in your circle. You already have people that are won grants. Are we together? You already have friends that are won grants. Make them your best friends. Seek them out. Ask them questions. How did you win this? For example, we have a Tony Elumelu fellow here. If you want to apply for Tony Elumelu, right, you can always ask him questions, right? Or, of course, you can sign up for Grand Success School, and learn how he did it. But at the very minimum, right, surround yourself with people that can help you. Next, the passion pitch. Some people believe they will fund me because I care. They will fund me because I see. Passion without profit is equal to poetry. You did not get that. Let me repeat it again. Passion without profit is equal to what? That's not it. Because you care. Who cares that you care? You need to show it. You need to show it. Not just talk about it. Next is the local mindset. Some people believe that only Nigerian grants for Nigerians. Is there anybody here like that? Okay, thank God there's nobody like that here. There are international grants. Right? And guess what? Most grants that we win in Nigeria are actually foreign grants. If you ask people that have won grants before, let me not talk about government grants because, okay, Bega, calm down. I will not mention the name of governments or a certain government. We're in a certain country, right? I will not mention anybody's name. I will not drag anybody's name. But you know that there are some grants that they will announce that you have won. And 1 naira will not get into your pocket. Right? There was a particular grant by a particular ministry, right, in this particular country. I won't mention their name. And they had already published our names on the website. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a phone call about 3 months after saying, you've won this grant, but, if you give me a percentage, right, we'll release this money. I'm like, who is this person talking to me? Ladies, lo and behold, that person had been calling other winners because, we know ourselves, right? They'll be calling other winners. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 months later, our names were taken off the website. After they had already done PR and said some people want grant funding, right? So please, when you're applying for a grant, it's also important who is giving the money. Do you understand? Right? So that you don't, put your hopes up. It's also important. You need to always check the credibility of the funder. And you guys have to be, you have to be alert. There are some people now that are doing scams. They will say, we want to give grants. And what they are doing is they're just trying to harvest your information. They're trying to guess. Let me give you an example. If a grant funder is asking you for your personal home address, that is off. If a grant funder is asking you to pay money to apply for a grant, then there's a problem somewhere. Grant funders want to give you money. They will not take money from you. Is somebody learning something? All right? Okay. So the final one is the one-shot wonder. Right? People that, I applied once. Right? And then, you're like, oh, why should I apply again? But I applied once. No, 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 no. Again, like I said, a lot of you, your first attempts will probably fail. And that's okay. Don't be discouraged, right? Don't be discouraged. You are here to learn, the rudiments, the things that the winners do, right? And so you'll be able to win. I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, don't be discouraged. No, 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 no. That neighbor is not saying well. Look for somebody and say, don't be discouraged. There's somebody here who has applied for a grant and is like, they've served me breakfast. Let me run away. No, no, no. Don't be discouraged. All right. Now, let's talk about how you can start telling your story better, right? As a creative person, as someone in the leather space, right? Regardless of the kind of business that you do. So let's move. How does the craftsman think? If you're a craftsman, you're thinking, I make beautiful leather bags, right? And your focus is product quality. I make leather bags, and then I'm focused on product quality, right? What is your metric? Personal satisfaction. I love the work that I am doing. That is a craftsman. Now, what about a grant strategist? How does a grant strategist think about his business? I solve unemployment through leather. Ladies and gentlemen, can you see the difference? Can you see the difference? One person is what? Making beautiful leather bags. Another person is what? Solving unemployment through leather. They are doing the same thing, but they are thinking about their work in different ways. Are you connecting? Is that making sense? So what is your focus? If you want to chase grants, your focus should be societal impact. The impact that you're making on society, right? The impact that you're making. And what is your metric? Lives transformed. That's your metric. Lives transformed. So let me show you a reframe that wins, right? You are not a leather worker seeking charity. That's not who you are. You are not seeking charity, right? You're a job creator building Nigeria's economy. You are an environmental warrior upcycling waste. You are a cultural ambassador preserving heritage. You are an export champion earning forex. Can you see how you should start thinking about your business? Right? You don't just make leather. You don't just make shoes. You don't just make bags. This is who you are. All of this needs to start showing. It needs to start shining through when you're writing proposals, when you're writing applications, right? So you don't just say things like, oh, I made leather bags, I make shoes. No. That is just the visible part of the work that you do, right? There are parts that are less visible. You need to surface them and make them more visible. So let's move on. Now, let me take you inside the founder's brain. How many of you would like to know how a grandfather thinks? How they think. How many of you would like to know? Let me see your hands up. I want to know how a founder thinks. Okay, good. So let me take you inside the founder's brain. Within the first 10 seconds, right, the grandfather is thinking threat or opportunity. They're thinking, is this person a professional or an amateur? Are they good at the work that they do? That's what the founder is thinking. Within the first 10 seconds. Are they good at the work that they do? Next is, they now ask themselves, do they care about the problem? Right? Do I trust this person? There's a way you can communicate trust when you are writing a proposal. There's a way. Can I give you some tips? Are you ready? One way you can communicate trust is through certifications. How many of you are maybe the product that you're making or the business that you're doing that you need some form of certification or another? Is there anybody like that here? Especially people that are experts. Is there anybody? Please wave your hand. Let me see. Fantastic. Do you know that by having that certification, you are telling the person who's reviewing your application that you're a very serious person, right? Okay, for all the business owners here, how many of us have registered our business? I mean, that's a basic one. Put your hands down. I have not registered my business. Raise your hands up. Okay, so what are you waiting for? Please, where's the second mic? Where's the second mic? I want to hear, what are you waiting for? Where's the second mic, please? Please raise up your hand. I want to hear from them very quickly. What are you waiting for? What is delaying you from registering your business? Please.
I still have a lot of things to do. That.
Like what? Like what?
You said?
Please, do you remember that scene? I'm not ready. Yeah. He's a sinner. Yes. We were about to have you, sir. You said you've not registered your business, and you said you're not ready. Oh yeah, please. Can you tell us why? Please move the mic closer to you. Sir.
Yes, the reason is that I have a lot of things learning at hand. So when I'm done, beside, I don't think this is the
okay,
right
out
time
of the
for
lot
me.
of things, which one can you tell us that you can share?
One? Yeah, I'm a chef, so I'm into food. I do catering and home management.
Okay.
And I'm into this leather, making of shoes as well.
Okay.
So I think when I'm done learning those stuff, I can now...
Okay, you are still learning.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
So,
okay. All right, okay. We understand. Well, you are no longer a sinner. Yeah, anybody else? You've not already started your business. Anybody else? Okay, it seems you're the only one. Now, I was talking about how you can communicate trust. Do you understand? Those are low-hanging fruits, things that you can use. Things like, registering your business. Things like getting certifications that you need, right? What are other signals of trust? Things like testimonials. Testimonials. How many of you have testimonials on your social media pages or your websites? Let me see your hands up. You have testimonials, right? Only one hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put your hands down. Okay, how many of you do not have testimonials on your website? Put your hands up. Right? Sir, I see you again. Okay, I see you. Right? Anybody else? You don't have testimonials. So the question is, why not? Do you want to tell us? Why not? Why not? Do you know that, see, I want you to first understand one thing. This is Nigeria. Right? We are in a low-trust society. So people are, every Nigerian is guarded. Right? Because you're thinking somebody is out there to scam you. Even you yourself, think about it. Before you buy something online, how much research do you do? Let's be real with ourselves. Right? Do you do research, yes or no? So just imagine the same thing when people want to buy from you. They also want to know, it seems the light is, I guess we're going to have the visuals back shortly. So technical crew, please. Thank you, thank you. All right, so it means that you yourself, you need to be very serious about testimonials. Whenever a customer of yours is happy with your product, right, ask them, can we please use a quote from our website? Can we use your picture on our website? Can we come to your office to shoot a video? Yes. When the customers are really happy with you, they will give you all of those things. They'll give you all of those things. If you go to our website, Grandmaster or our training site, Grand Success School, you receive videos. Do you know that, let me tell you another story. One of our students, current students, said that when he used to see our ad online, he used to go like, scammers. They want to take my money. She now said that one day, okay, she has been seeing people talking, students talking like, let me go and track these students. Let me know if this is for real. She then went into their DMs one by one. And all of them said the same thing. She's like, I'm signing up. Lo and behold, she won a grant before she finished the training. Right? But guess what? We live in a low-trust society. People are going to be thinking, you have to get them. Somebody is about to scam me. So you need to find indicators of trust and use them. Testimonials are a great way to do just that. Okay, we're still waiting for the visuals. Another thing that grant funders look out for when you submit a proposal is they look at your numbers. The numbers you are citing, are they realistic? Let me give you an example of something that is not realistic. So let's say in your business, let's say in a month, you do 2 million in sales, right? You then say that if you win this grant, you will go from 2 million to 200 million in 2 months. Ladies and gentlemen, that sounds like a fairy tale, right? To quote the illustrious sister, Taylor Swift, she sang a song, if today was a fairy tale. It's not realistic. Going from 2 million to 200 million in 6 months is not realistic. Please, are we together? Am I telling the truth? But if you say, for instance, that you're going to use grant funding to go from 2 million to 4 million or 6 million within, it makes sense. Right? It makes sense. So your numbers have to make sense. That's another thing that they look out for. Right? Your numbers have to make sense. Now, let me tell you a story about one of the people who work with at Grandmaster. Let me tell you a story. Her name is Naclyn. She runs a primary school. And this was something that happened during COVID. So, how many of us remember how COVID was? How was COVID like for you? How was it like for you? Lockdown, right? Okay. Is there anybody who enjoyed that period? For maybe some weird reasons. Maybe the fact that you got to work from home. Anybody? You enjoyed that period? Okay, put your hands down. Is there anybody here when you remember COVID, you're like, oh my show. Anybody? Like you look back at that period and you're like, I don't want it again. Okay, we have 1 or 2 hands. All right. Now, let me tell you the story of Naclyn. So during COVID, if you remember very well, schools were shutting down. Essentially, schools had to shut down. And a lot of parents, now, first of all, they were not making money from their businesses, right? Because everybody was on lockdown, we're inside our houses. And that meant that there was very low disposable income, which meant that a lot of parents could not even afford to pay school fees. Now, don't forget that schools had to go online. Do you remember, right? They had to go online. Meaning that parents can easily just change the school of their child from school A to school B, since everything is online. Right? Which meant that for Naclyn School, they just lost 90% of their revenue practically overnight. And so she was faced with the dilemma. What am I going to do to keep this school afloat? And so she took 2 painful decisions. Painful decision number 1, right? She fired half of her staff in the middle of COVID. Very painful decision. Painful decision number 2, she reduced the salary of the people that were left by half, just so she could be afloat. So during that period, she then heard about Grandmaster. Somebody told her, like, oh, Grandmaster, like, oh, what are these people doing? She just said, okay, let me give it a shot, right? And when I first, met with Lactin, I asked her a simple question, right? Okay, do you keep financial records? She said, yes. I then asked, how do you keep financial records? She said, we use a book, a ledger. I said, no, we are going to fix that. You need to digitize your records. So if there's somebody here, is there anybody like that here? Like your records are on pen and paper. Anybody like that? Right? See, you have attended Lagos Leather Fair. If this is the only thing you take away from it, you have done well. You need to digitize your record keeping. Stop using paper and pen. So go and find a digital product. There are products like Bumper. Bumper is owned by a Nigerian. There's Zoho. Right? You don't even need to use a sophisticated accounting software. You need to digitize your record keeping. Do you know why? Because grant funders ask for it. And it even helps you to make better decision making when you use a digital accounting software. You can see when your sales are going up, when they are going down, the graphs, the analytics. It's better for you. You can make better decisions. But of course, if you want to apply for grants, you need digitized records. So, long story short, we helped her to digitize our record keeping, right? We took her away from paper and pencil. And then we helped her tell a compelling story. Right? That this primary school is not another regular primary school. This primary school provides affordable education for people on the lower rungs of ladder, giving them a chance to succeed in life. Right? We told the story. Ladies and gentlemen, a primary school won a Facebook grant. Did you hear what I just said? A what? A primary school. How many people would have believed? Even Naklin herself did not believe it. She did not believe it. Like, how is it possible for a primary school to win a grant? It is possible with compelling storytelling. Okay, fantastic. All right. All right. Now, I want us to take a test, everybody. So please bring out your pen and paper or jot on your phone. I want us to take a test together. So step 1 is I want you to write what you currently do. Everybody, write it down in a sentence. What do you do in your business? Write it down, everybody. Or you can type it on your phone. Let's go. So, example can be, I make leather bags. That's an example. It's a simple example. I make leather bags. Are we done? Done? Please wave to me if you're done. Okay, 1 person, 2. Does anybody need extra sheets? Okay, can I move on? All right, step 2. I want you to list 3 problems that your work solves. 3 problems. The work that you're doing in your business, I want you to list 3 problems that it solves. So, for example, it could be solving unemployment. It could be solving the waste problem, right? What problem is your business solving? List 3 problems. Don't overthink it. Just list the problems that come to your mind. Done? Okay. Let me give you 10 more seconds. Are you done? All right, fantastic. Okay, let's move on. Step 3. Now, I want you to identify who benefits beyond customers. Beyond your immediate customers, who are the people that are benefiting from your work? So, an example, for instance, could be youth. Maybe young people. It could be the environment benefiting from your work. Or even the Nigerian economy. I mean, if you've been paying your taxes, right? The Nigerian economy. So, I want you to identify who are the people benefiting from your work beyond your immediate customers. Who are those people? Right? So list at least 1 or 2. Think about your business. Who are the people benefiting? Aside from your customers, who are those people? Done? Anybody else? Done? Okay. Step 4. Now, I want you to quantify 1 impact metric. So let me explain impact metric. Impact metric for you, for instance, can be like for every 1 million naira revenue we make, we provide 5 jobs. Impact revenue, for instance, for you can be we currently employ 10 people. Meaning that what? We provide 10 jobs. Impact metric, for instance, for you can be if it's environment, right? We keep maybe 10 tons of leather scraps away from the landfill. So what is that impact metric for your business? Is there anybody that needs help with this? Because I know this is a bit technical, so you may need help. Anybody that needs help with this? Your impact metric. Anybody? I want to use 1 or 2 persons as examples. Or do we understand it? We understand? Okay. All right. Oh, you're raising up your hand? You want to share? Yeah, please. Give her the mic, please. I thought you were raising up your hand.
Yes, I was.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I joined a few minutes ago, so...
Oh, you're wondering, what are we doing? So,
said-
this session is about how to win grant funding,
No,
right?
the impact stuff we were talking about.
Okay, the impact stuff. Oh, okay. All right. So, what kind of business do you do? Let's talk. What kind of business do you do?
I run a photography business.
Photography business,
Yes.
right? So, beyond your immediate customers, let's start from there. Beyond your immediate customers, who are the people that are benefiting from your work?
Beyond my immediate customers.
Yes, beyond the people that are working, who are the people that are benefiting from your work?
Okay. I'm thinking.
What do you think your work is as a photographer? See, welcome to therapy. Welcome to therapy. We're in the therapy session.
Okay.
What do you think your work is? What do you do as a photographer?
Okay. As a photographer, I document events.
Okay.
I help, that's for events. For portrait pictures, I help people preserve their legacy. I help people tell their stories through
Fantastic.
images.
Fantastic.
And for corporate, I help people portray how they want to look to the public, how they're most on the takes of basically how they want to feel, how they want people to perceive them.
Fantastic. You are absolutely on point. Now, let me define what you do in two ways.
Okay.
As a photographer, you make new memories and you preserve old memories.
Okay.
Did somebody get that?
Yes.
See, what we are doing here is I am trying to train you to think a certain way. There is a way people that win grants, there's a way they write, there's a way they think. You need to think very deeply about the work that you are doing. If you see yourself as just somebody who is taking pictures, you won't win grants. But if you see yourself as someone who is preserving, the memory, preserving the history, do you understand? Right? Or making new memories for people, telling stories, bringing people together, then it's easier for you to win grant funding. Now, to the question that you were asking about the impact metric, I was talking about jobs, for instance, right? So how many jobs do you create, right? Do you keep scraps away from the environment? Do you make the environment purer, right? Do you give unemployed youths, an opportunity? So that's impact. Things that you're doing that is not about really your customers. It's really about like job creation. It's about, helping the less privileged, things like that. That's impact.
Okay.
So do you have an impact metric for us? You can use jobs, for instance, if you employ
Yes.
people.
So sometimes when the project is quite large, I have people come on board to assist me with the project. So yeah, that's creating employment in some sort of way.
Fantastic. So like how many people? Give us an example.
2, 3, sometimes 4.
Fantastic. Okay. So when you're applying for grants, though, you have to be specific, right? I know that, of course, we're just distant, so you can say 2, 3, sometimes 4. But when you're writing a grant proposal, be specific, right? You can say, on average, we create, 3. On average, we create 3 jobs, every 3 months. That is if you have a rotation. If it's like a rotation. If it's like paid employment every single month, you say, currently right now we have 4 employees. We create jobs, to gainfully employ 4 young Nigerians, right? So I hope that helped. I hope that
Yes.
helped.
Thank
All
you
right,
very much.
let's move on. So, step 5. Now, I want you to rewrite your identity, everybody. Rewrite your identity. What does that mean? I want you to